Hey everybody, it is so good to be back. It's been a minute, but here I am a couple of more eye surgeries later, getting eyesight back in this eye. So I have 2 more to go, and hopefully by the end of all of that, my vision will be 2020. So that's exciting. Also been busy raising a teenager, working with people who've been through trauma, narcissistic abuse, dating abuse, because that is actually a thing, or just trying to navigate the dating world. This is my ministry, you guys. I don't know if I've ever been clear about that, but this is my ministry. I don't do it for any other reason than God has asked me to. And lately, as I've been feeling better, God's been pushing me to do a video on trauma. We're going to talk about trauma left in the wake of a narcissist, certainly. But you know, trauma, the number one reason people go through trauma is because they're at the hands of other people. Think about it. Soldiers, even PTSD on the battlefield. They've been shot by another person. There may be spiritual or religious trauma through people at a church or a cult type group. There may be workplace trauma, or trauma, maybe you're an entrepreneur and someone has deceived you. That's trauma. You may face trauma by your own children who don't believe in you or have been ugly to you. There are just so many ways that we can go through trauma, you know, psychologically, mentally, physically, emotionally, intellectually, you name it. So let's talk about what trauma looks like and how to get past it, especially when it deals with a narcissist. And in subsequent videos, we're going to address all those other traumas. So, you know, my story, if you're new to this channel, is I was raised by a narcissist, and then I married one and stayed with him for about 16 years, married for 13 years. And you don't know what you don't know. You think this is the way life's supposed to be. You think, well, maybe my parents or my friends forgot to tell me how difficult this is to be married to someone like this. You don't know. You think it's you. You internalize it. You're trying to improve everything you're doing. You feel like it's not enough. You're working harder and harder to meet this ever-moving standard. Cook like this, look like this, be like this, be intimate with me like this, whatever it is. I mean, I remember I was once told to be a junior leaguer during the day and a hooker in the bedroom at night. For real, you guys, for real. I can laugh at that now, but wow. Who says that, you know? So anyway, being raised by a narcissist, let's talk about the narcissistic family or someone in your childhood that was involved with you that may have led you to think that that way of life is normal, right, or healthy. In a healthy family, the parents meet the needs of the children. They meet the needs of the children emotionally, intellectually, psychologically, physically, of course, with food and water and a roof over their heads. Flip it, when you have someone at the helm who is a narcissist, a mom, a dad, a grandfather, maybe a sibling who has all the power in the house, it's a shiny red apple with the worm in the middle, and everyone orbits around the worm. To everyone on the outside, it looks like this great thing, this family unit we're supposed to covet, but on the inside, it is rotting away. And you or me or whoever is in that family unit is also rotting away, because the parents want the children to meet their needs, to shine the light on them, especially a narcissistic mother or father. It's all about, and it's usually the same sex child, it's all about what the child can do for mom or dad. So what does that look like? Everyone's trying to make that person happy, whoever the narcissist is, to their own detriment. Perhaps the other parent, and in most cases this happens, the other parent is a pushover and becomes a doormat, and he or she is not protecting the children. Then the narcissistic parent is gradually chipping away at all family members, especially the golden child who the narcissist has chosen for whatever reasons to shine the light. It's usually the same sex child, as I mentioned, to shine the light back on the narcissist. So what does that mean? Everyone is walking on eggshells. That child that is supposed to be shining the light on the narcissist never feels like they're enough. They have to be perfect in their mind or believe exactly like the narcissist tells them to believe, have the same values, morals, ethics, be quiet, do what the narcissist says, look like the narcissist says, or that parent withholds attention and conditional love. It is not, unfortunately, the conditional or unconditional rather love that should happen between a parent and a child. I mean, this is an extreme example, but I think about like if my son came to me and said, Mom, I went in and I accidentally drove my car through a window at a daycare and hurt a bunch of kids. Now, this would be horrible. It has not happened, but this is just an extreme example. I would say to him, I'm disappointed in your actions, whatever caused you to do that, whether you were distracted or just being stupid, but I love you and I'm going to help you get through this. Not spoil you and get you through it or aid and abet you, but just help you get through this. It's not going to change my love for you. I guess that's my point. It is not that way in a family with a narcissist, not at all. I remember needing to have the same beliefs, values, morals as the narcissistic parent. And if I didn't, then I was told I was wrong. I was shamed. I was literally told, shame on you. The narcissistic parent was overweight in high school, so the parent would often sing a horrible song to me, Fatty, Fatty, 2x4, couldn't get through the open door. That song goes through my mind every freaking day, you guys, every day. So that is what it's like to live in that dynamic with a narcissist at the helm in the family when you're a child. So what does this do to you in adulthood? Excuse me, we're going to go over this at length in later videos, but I want to give you a snapshot. And some of these are things that I've just realized that I do. I have an inability to make decisions without talking to about 27 people. I do. I'm learning to be confident in my decisions, whether it's how I am disciplining my son, or a decision to make it work, or a simple decision as how much money to spend on, his outfit for prom, or whatever it may be. I've got to talk to like half a dozen people. No, I don't. The only reason I feel that way is because the narcissistic parent told me I didn't know what I was doing when it came to anything. So I'm learning to be confident in my own decisions. And that's like empowering. Other things that we learn to do in that narcissistic family dynamic are we are always hurt by them. And as a child, we don't understand. We're like, I thought they'd love me, but it seems like they don't. But we can't even think that through. It's just a dynamic that we don't understand. So we start in our minds. This is key for people like me who've grown up with a narcissist at the helm. We start having our own voice. This is a mistake. It's not the voice of the parent, but we start telling ourselves, you suck. You don't matter. Why are you even here on this earth? You don't know what you're doing. I mean, that sabotaged me years ago making these videos. Who are you to think that you're an expert? 44 years of it, Laura, that's who. And we do that to protect ourselves. So when the narcissist says the same thing to us, we go, oh, okay. But it carries on into adulthood, and it can hurt your career. It can hurt your relationship with someone healthy. It can hurt your relationship with the kids because you're beating up on yourself all the time. So that's something else we can do. We destroy ourselves. We can also be a perfectionist. Well, he's not going to love me. She's not going to love me. They're not going to be my friend. My boss isn't going to like me if I'm not perfect at everything I do. No one's perfect. We got to let that go. We got to let that go. So those are some of the things that in a narcissistic family dynamic that we carry into adulthood and we have to continue working on, right? Continue. We are going to be triggered. We're human, but it's what we do with that trigger that determines the path forward. How happy we're going to be, how sad we're going to be, how we're going to handle the next situation. So let's see, what else was I going to say? So in that adult relationship with a narcissist, you find yourself walking on eggshells. Your reality is often changed by gaslighting. I didn't say that. Why do you always make me out to be the bad person, Laura? Why do you always act like I'm the one in the wrong? You don't even remember what you do. Your whole family thinks you're crazy. You're going to hear those kind of things. So I have just now, in the last few years, come into my own skin, feeling worthy, lovable, happy, at peace, dating some, navigating relationships, friendships, and others, learning who needs to be out of my life, learning who needs to be in my life, firm boundaries with the narcissists that are still orbiting around me and my son because they're family members, all kinds of things like that. So, a nutshell, what we'll go over in this series is we're going to talk about healing. And, how did I heal? How am I still here today? Well, do you just block the ex and go on? No, but you can block the ex. That's a great place to start if you've left the narcissist. But there's counseling. Number one, counseling. Number two, you may need some spiritual or religious healing, because I know in many church situations, many of us have been abused without the church even knowing it by, the disdain people give to singles. There was a couple of church ushers that weren't allowed to be ushers anymore at a church I attended because they moved in together. They'd both gotten divorced and moved in together. So all kinds of different things that can feel like spiritual or religious abuse to people. So you need to heal from that. There's meditation and prayer, so much prayer. Exercise, eating healthy, and again, releasing all those toxic people. So sometimes, my mind slips and it goes back to that ugly, miserable place that the narcissist left, the trauma that they left behind, CPTSD, which is chronic post-traumatic stress disorder. Yes, it's a thing, not just for soldiers, for people who've been through trauma. We have so much anxiety. We walk around like this and we just don't know when the next shoe's going to drop, or a sound will set us off, or someone's voice will set us off, or their handwriting, or a TV show. We just don't know. So all of those steps in healing that I talked about can help you get past that. So I need to save some for the subsequent videos, don't I? So anyway, I have overcome most, if not all of this, and I want to help you put some of this trauma to bed yourself. So join me over the next couple of weeks, and we're going to talk about soul ties. We're going to talk about trauma at the hands of people you thought, besides immediate family or the narcissist you're with, the people that you thought really loved you, then they abandon you at a time of your greatest need, and how that's not a reflection on you, it's on them. So I can't wait to see you for those things. Get on my website, lauracarranza.com, and subscribe to my email list, because I'm sending out emails with some blog posts and funny anecdotes and then not so funny anecdotes. So I'd love to have you join us there. And you can email me back, actually, and give me some ideas for future videos. I still have to sign off with this. You are worthy, you are loved, and you are enough. Bye-bye.